Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Fields McCormick and welcome back to Madden Mobile. Now, as you can see from what is on your screen right now, the Team of the Decade promo has dropped in Madden Mobile. I'm very excited to get to jump into a promo guide for this amazing promo. We got lots of really good players here. Some of the best players from the 2010s have been honored with amazing cards in this promo. You can see right there, Megatron himself, Calvin Johnson, is one of the two masters, and the other master, that guy right there, is Fletcher Cox. So we have one of the best wide receivers of the modern era, one of the best defensive tackles of the modern era, and these guys are going to be amazing players. Now, before we jump into the promo guide for the Team of the Decade promo, I do want to go ahead and mention that I will be doing a stat breakdown for Megatron in a video coming either later today or tomorrow. So make sure that your notifications are turned on and you've subscribed so that you don't miss that Megatron stat breakdown video that will be coming very soon. Alright, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this promo and see everything you need to know about Team of the Decade in Madden Mobile 20. Alright, so first off, let's go to Play Now. This will let us see all of the rewards associated with this promo. Alright, so I've already completed a few of these. We got an 80 or higher player from the promo, then 1,000 training points. After that, you get 3 80 or higher players and the Decade banner. Then for 1,500 points, you can get 10,000 coins. 2,500 of these points will give you 100 stamina and a silver key. Next up, for 4,000 points, you will get an 85 or higher player from the promo and the Team of the Decade nameplate. Next up, for 5,500 points, you will get 1,000 captain patches plus a Decade banner. Coming up next, for 7,000 points, you will get 2 more 85 or higher players. 8,500 points gives you 50,000 coins. Then at 10,000 points, which is 1/5 of the way to your first master, you will get 200 stamina and a gold key. 13,000 points gives you even more players. It looks like 4 right there. Then for 16,000 points, you will get 10,000 coaches' whistles along with another Decade banner. For 19,000 points, you will get one of the almighty Madden Max badges that you can throw into getting one of your players, maybe even Calvin Johnson or Fletcher Cox, to 105 overall with all maxed out stats. Coming up next, for 22,000, you can get 1,000 gems. After that, for 25,000, which is halfway to your first master, you will get the Elite Key, 300 stamina, and a Madden Max badge. Then for 30,000 points, you will get your first 90 overall Team of the Decade player. 35,000 points gives you another Decade banner along with 1,000 stamina. 40,000 points will give you 2 more 90 or higher Team of the Decade players. Then when you hit 45,000 points, you get 2,000 diamonds and yet another Decade banner. And then when you hit 50,000 points in this promo, you do get your first of these 2 masters. You can either select Megatron, Calvin Johnson, or take the big man himself, Fletcher Cox, and beef up your D-line. I personally will be going for Calvin Johnson. I already have Ultimate Legends Calvin Johnson on my team, so he's going to be even better than that card, and Ultimate Legends Megatron has been one of my best players. So I'm very excited to see what the 100 overall Megatron can do. After you get your first of these 100 overall players, when you hit 55,000 points, you will get 10 80 or higher players. 60,000 points gives you an amazing 100,000 coins. 65,000 points will give you 4 more 85 or higher players. 70,000 points gives you another Madden Max badge, once again to go into those 105 overall players. After that, you can select one of 10 98 overall players for this promo and get a Madden Max stamp. All of that you will get when you hit 75,000 points. 80,000 points will give you 3,000 gems. When you hit 85,000 points, you will get 8 85 or higher players. When you hit 90,000 points, you get 3 90 or higher players. When you hit 95,000 points, you get yet another Madden Max badge. And then if you somehow manage to go all the way to 100,000, you'll be able to get the second of these 2 masters, whichever one you didn't get earlier. Now, it is worth mentioning Calvin Johnson will be scheme selectable, so you'll be able to pick him up to fit your scheme. Alright, so just a few of the ways to earn points. Completing a daily goal gives you 20. Play a league versus league drive can get you up to 40 if you score a touchdown. Claim the Team of the Decade pack for 100 every day. Make sure you're doing that. Team of the Decade points league pack will give you 250. If you complete the Team of the Decade achievement, you'll get 500. You also get 500 every day you log in. You will get 1,000 for completing the divisional sets. We'll look at those in a second. You will get 5,000 for completing all the divisional sets, so a huge chunk in there, just like with most of the other promos that we've seen. And then you can earn extra ones through the Team of the Decade program. I'm assuming this means that from some of the events that'll come out later on, we can earn these points as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the players. So of course right there we see Fletcher Cox as well as the scheme selectable Calvin Johnson in their 100 and 105 if you max him out. Coming up next, we have all of the 98 players. You get one of these from completing the season and one from completing the gauntlet for this promo. They are Jarrell Casey, Golden Tate, Ryan Khalil, Kiko Alonso, Ben Roethlisberger, Eric Berry, Carlos Dunlap, Joe Thomas, and the speedster Deshaun Jackson, as well as Prince Amukamara at corner. You also have players that are in their 90s. You see those guys there. We'll scroll on down. There's a ton of high elites. Scrolling down a little bit more, and then you see the 82, 83, 80 overall elites. So all in all, a pretty good amount of players in this. I am very excited to get to see these guys added to the game. Like I said a second ago, I really want this Calvin Johnson for Smash Mouth. He's probably going to be one of my end game receivers. Maybe even the first person I get to 105. We'll have to see what happens. All right, so we do have a few achievements right here. You get 500 for claiming the complete 5 daily goals 15 times, so make sure you're grinding those out. Complete 10 team history maps for an additional 500, and if you use 10,000 stamina, you will get another 500. You can earn another 500 for using 10,000 front office points. Score 250 points in league versus league drives for yet another 500. If you score 250 points in arena, you can also get that 500. I'm almost done with this one. Score 10,000 with Smash Mouth for 500, 10,000 with a vertical captain, a spread captain, and a West Coast captain. So overdrive is going to be crucial. That's a nice 2,000 right there just for doing those 4 overdrive ones. All right, now for the sets. You do see right here we have all of the divisional sets. I'll jump into one of these. Most of these have 1 diamond and 3 elites in them. Some is 2 diamonds, 2 elites. By doing the Blitz event and maybe buying a few of these guys off the auction house, you should be able to finish these with no problem. There are 8 total divisional sets, so that's 8,000 points. And then if we come over here, completing all 8 of them will give you an additional 5,000. So that's 13,000 points, more than a fourth of the way to your first master by doing these sets. So we'll scroll on down. There's a lot of player exchanges. You can get 85 overall players and 90 overall players. You can also do the grab bag set. That's a great way to stack up on some points. An interesting one here, 8 90 or higher Team of the Decade players will give you one of those 98s. You can also redeem the points that you earn. If you spend 100 points and use 180 overall player, you can get an 80 or 85 overall player out of this. You're always guaranteed to at least get an 80 player back, so you're not really losing anything there. Next up, for 280 overall players and a silver key as well as 1,000 points, you can earn 500 gems. Do that up to 3 times, that's 1,500. That's almost halfway to unlocking the season or gauntlet mode. Coming up next, decade banners. You can only do this 1 time, it says. This will take 2 80 or higher players, a silver key, and 1,500 points. Alright, and then after that, you have the option to claim a receiver stat boost as well. If we check over here, it will give a bonus of 13 catch in traffic, 13 catch, and 13 spectacular catch to wide receivers, tight ends, halfbacks, and fullbacks. So this will drastically improve the catching stats for all the main guys you'll throw to. This takes 280 or higher players, the silver key, and 2,000 points. Next up, to get 3 85 or higher program players, we'll take 5 80 or higher Team of the Decade players, 1 golden key, and 3,000 points. The next thing is a decade banner duo. You can only do this 1 time. This takes 5 80 or higher players, the gold key, and 4,500 Team of the Decade points. You can get 1,000 stamina and an additional 10 max stamina. You can do this 3 times. So that's 3,000 stamina plus an increase of 30 stamina to the total you can hold. This will take 3 85 or higher players, the Team of the Decade Elite Key, and 6,000 points. Now we start to get to some of the more expensive ones. Coming on over here, the Decade Banner Trio. You can only complete this 1 time as well. This takes 3 85 or higher players, the Team of the Decade Elite Key, and 9,000 points. Alright, now we have a secondary stat reducer. This is against your opponent in League versus League, Overdrive, Arena, those kind of scenarios. This will take 3 85 or higher players, the elite key, and 12,000 points. This impacts corners and safeties, which is going to make it a lot easier for you to pass against them. It decreases their zone by 8, their man by 8, and their speed by 4. So that's a very powerful decrease. That's going to help out your passing game quite a bit. Next up, we do have 50 clipboards. This takes the diamond key, 7 85 or higher players, and 10,000 points. And now the last two that we have to take a look at. You can get a Madden Max stamp for 7 85 or higher players, a diamond key, and 15,000. And then the very last reward is an offensive line stat reducer. This will cost 7 85 or higher players, the diamond key, and 20,000. That's almost half of what it takes to get your first Masters. This is going to be a lot of grinding to get this, but it's incredibly powerful because when we check over here, this impacts your opponent's tight ends as well as his entire offensive line by decreasing their impact block by 10, their awareness by 5, and their strength by 5. So that means that it's going to be a lot harder for your opponent to run or pass against you because they're going to have a lot of trouble blocking on those impact block scenarios. Their strength is going to be decreased and their awareness is going to be decreased. So your defensive line and your linebackers are just going to have a field day blitzing this guy left, right, and center if you've got this activated. One final thing I do want to look at, let's go over here. This is the Blitz event that I referred to earlier. You win this to get an 80 or higher Decade Field Pass player. You can play this 5 times before it goes on a 6-hour cooldown. So let's go ahead and auto through this for the 5 times that I'm able to and take a look at what's in these packs. Alright, so the first of the 5 packs gives me 80 overall Josh Rosen. The second pack will award us with another Josh Rosen. Let's see what the third pack gives us. We get Witherspoon right there, 83 overall. Next up, we will end up with Peyton Barber, the running back for the Buccaneers. And then our 5th pack will give us another Josh Rosen. So, quite a few Josh Rosens there, not too bad. Those 5 players are going to help us out towards getting that guy right there, Calvin Johnson. Alright, now, like I said, I really like the stats on this Calvin Johnson. Fletcher Cox is a beast too. I don't need a whole lot of help on D-line, but I could definitely use a new wide receiver to replace Ultimate Legends Calvin. Now, I do want to mention that my Ultimate Legends Calvin Johnson has been probably the best receiver on my team, so I can imagine how much better he's going to be 2 overall higher and eventually at 105 overall if we're able to get him there with Madden Max. Alright, so I think this is going to go ahead and wrap up this promo guide for the Team of the Decade promo. I'm pretty pumped about this one, not going to lie. There's a lot of really good players there. I'm definitely hoping to get that Calvin Johnson. If you guys need help on your defensive line, that Fletcher Cox card looks really good. High strength, he's just a monstrous player. So definitely worth getting if you need help on defense. If you need help on offense, Megatron is 110% worth it. I'm going to do a full stat breakdown on him either later today or tomorrow. So you'll get to see my thoughts on every single stat that he has coming out soon. Alright, so if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up down below to let me know. Also, if you're new to the channel and enjoy what you saw today, please go ahead and subscribe. And if you hit the bell next to the subscription icon, you will get a notification every time a new video goes live on the channel. I try to drop at least 2 new videos per week, but with all of the amazing Team of the Decade stuff coming out right now, not to mention Ultimate Legends dropping Saturday, I've got a ton of content coming out. We might even see a couple of double uploads before too long. So make sure that your notifications are turned on so that you never miss an upload. Also, if you would like to join the Discord associated with this channel called The Locker Room, I will leave a link pinned down in the comments where you can click on that and join the Locker Room. We have more than 100 fans of the channel and they're discussing every aspect of Madden Mobile, including the best way to grind the Team of the Decade promo. So if you'd like to join more than 100 amazing Madden Mobile players, go ahead and click the link down below and I look forward to seeing you in the Locker Room. Alright, so without further ado, I am going to go ahead and wrap up this Team of the Decade promo guide. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next Madden Mobile video.